Today I will be recapping the part 2 of Crisis of Infinite Earth. This movie begins with Batman who chases after the Joker. Thanks to his gadget, he catches the Joker, but when he goes closer he realizes it's Jim Gordon who got infected by the Joker. Batman tries to cure him, but it's too late. The police commissioner is already dead. Joker suddenly shows up and it turns out to be a trap when Batman sees a bomb on Jim Gordon's body. Luckily he manages to escape from the scene before the Joker presses the explosion button. The city soldier shoots a Joker ammo tank, and that's when the clown decides to summon Killer Croc and Solomon Grundy to take them out. The Joker plan was to use a tank to destroy a tower which will put the worlds to an end. Batman is unable to stop him as he is occupied in fighting Killer Croc and Solomon Grundy. Fortunately, a bomb is thrown inside the Joker ammo tank, forcing him to leave the tank before it exploded. This is the doing of Dick, who shows up with Robin and Elena and other members of the Bat family. They assist him in taking down the Joker and his henchmen, but Batman tells them he never needed their help. They claim to be his student, and this is what he trained them for. They have come to help him since the Justice League Society was assigned to search for the Flash. Batman tells them he was the one who gave the order and the Flash is dead, but Robin and the rest didn't accept his death because his body has not been found. The scene changes to show us a supernatural human called Charles who tries to interrogate a prisoner. He has tried to make the prisoner speak with his mind control powers, but this is the first time someone has resisted his power. He decides to use another method. Charles tells his backstory to the prisoner, which happened 25 years ago in the English countryside. He was just an ordinary boy who had this passion for reading books, but he hated being around people for a reason. He has this gift which isn't not just about reading minds, but he can feel people's emotions. So the more people around him, the more emotions and pain he feels. His parents hated themselves so much that they fought every day. Fortunately, his parents didn't end up killing each other, but they were tired of him. Their only solution to this was to send Charles to a boarding school. But Charles' misfortune didn't stop there, as he was continuously bullied every day in the school, which never stopped because he refused to give the bullies the satisfaction of hearing him scream. The teacher even witnessed this wicked act towards him, but instead of punishing the bullies, Charles was whipped. The unstoppable abuse on him is something Charles couldn't bear anymore, and out of anger, he unconsciously unleashes a strange power to control minds. With this power, he made the bullies to kill each other. The scene changes to space, where a planet begins to explode while the Monitor observes it from afar. That planet is Krypton. After its destruction, a very small ship crashes to his satellite, but thanks to the shield, no damages was caused. Monitor asks his robot what it is, and it explains that the small ship is containing a Kryptonian survivor who is apparently suffocating. The Monitor doesn't care and orders his robot to take the ship away from his sight, but instead the robot does otherwise and rescues her. Robot assures him that she will soon die from her radiation explosion. To the Monitor, it is intolerable for her to die on his ship, so he orders his robot to do what must be done. The Kryptonian is revealed to be Kara, a cousin of Superman. Due to the radiation explosion, Kara appears to have lost all memories on who she is. He explains to her who she is and about her planet, but he didn't tell her about its destruction. When Kara asks if she could go home, the Monitor appeals she should help with something on the satellite first, then she can go home. Firstly, the Monitor gives answers to her questions. She is on the Monitor satellite, a craft existing outside normal time-space, designed to facilitate observation and documentation of celestial events. His name is Mar Novu, who comes from the race of ancient being beyond her comprehension called the Monitors. Their duty is to observe and record all events in the universe. They know what will happen next, but are sworn never to interfere in Earth's affairs. On the other hand, Charles continues his story to the prisoner, telling him how he took control of the school with his mind control powers. During this time, the Third Reich has risen to power even in his tiny village. So when no word has come from the school for some months, the police were sent to the school to investigate, but what they saw next was so traumatizing. They saw all the students, including the school teacher, being hanged on the school ceiling, and this was all the doings of Charles. Charles takes his abilities too far by manipulating the minds of the Marine to give him a commission as the captain of Merchant Raider. At last, Charles became the pirate he has always wanted to be, but it was too good to last as his ship damages and sinks. Charles uses his mind power just in case it could save him in the middle of the ocean. And to his surprise, it actually did, when a group of Atlantis who got manipulated by his power shows up to rescue him. But he found it really hard to control the Atlantis King mind because his mental defense is very much powerful. After a lot of resisting, Charles also managed to place the Aquaman under his control, gaining an alliance between the Third Reich and having Atlantis' army under his control. Just after finishing his story, it turns out that the prisoner was the one who invited him to speak with him. But Charles' annoyance was the prisoner refuses to speak up. The prisoner finally speaks and hadn't been hearing him because he was worlds away. It is revealed that this prisoner is no other person but Dr. Fate, who tells Charles that he is going to offer him a gift: the ability to travel between realities. Fate passes the power to him, letting him know that he has an important role to play in the crisis to come. Kara explores around the monitor ship and sees a small ship, remembering it to what brought her here from Krypton. The ship shows her life at Krypton. Out of excitement, she orders the ship to take her back to Krypton, just for her to find out that it was destroyed. Kara now remembers everything about herself and lashes out Monitor, who could have saved Million and stopped her planet from destruction, but he lets her know again that non-interference has been sacrosanct to his race. He lets Kara know that her friends and all life form are in danger because of the antimatter wave approaching their Earths. Instead of sitting idle and watching everyone turn to dust, the Monitor decided to do the only thing he can do. Monitor gives Kara a portion of his life force energy, which transforms Kara into Harbinger, a missionary who travels all the worlds to recruit powerful heroes to stop the antimatter wave. Charles wakes up just to see the ships of his allies being destroyed by Superman. Flash runs around the city in search for Charles. To escape, Charles casts some spells of Dr. Fate, and he suddenly finds himself teleported to another Earth in which he is the president. The citizens of the town appears to be protesting against the bad leadership when a portal opens and Harbinger comes out from it. She reveals to have been sent to gather the best champion of each Earth, and Charles is chosen as one of them. The superhero spreads to all Earths to make sure the antimatter wave doesn't destroy it. Superman uses a vision to sight the wave heading towards Earth 18. The genius superheroes immediately activated all towers to begin a planetary phasing, making the wave to pass through Earth 18 without destroying it. Superman needed help since the machine is overloading, so the Monitor sends Kara to assist him. After the antimatter wave phases through the planet, some knights shows up and thanks Superman. He noticed Kara is unhappy and goes to know why. She's upset that Brainiac is dead and Krypton is gone forever. The Monitor suddenly appears and asks them to return. Meanwhile, a half-naked boy called Comedy is being sent to a planet where there are no humans. He calls the Justice League to complain because returning back to his Earth is the last thing he ever wanted to do, but they let him know that there are some relays on the towers that needs to be replaced, and he is the only one that knows about post-Great Disaster Earth. They tell him that an ape will assist him. Comedy attacks the ape because in this his world, apes were what killed all the humans, making him the last boy on this Earth. The ape assures that he is different. His name is Soliver of Gorilla City, and he came from Earth 1. We see Charles, who seems to be going through so much pain. The Monitor wants him to use his psychic powers to broadcast calmness and confidence. If not, there will be panic and chaos in the surviving worlds. Charles tells him that the process is too painful and he doesn't have enough power to influence that many people, but there is another way this could work. It's clear that Monitor possesses almost unfathomable power. If the Monitor could grant him a little fraction of it, then he will have the capability of helping so many on all various Earths. Due to his bad past, he feels it's impossible for Monitor to trust him to the extent of passing some of his powers to him. Learning the trust was the beginning of wisdom to the Monitor, and this one shouldn't be an exception for him as he passes little of his powers to Charles. After a while, genius minds among the heroes gives reports to the Monitor after their deep research. The antimatter wave, which they thought is a one-time threat, turned out to be an ongoing storm with multiple waves. The wave can change in speed and intensity, which is exactly a way waves don't act. They feel the antimatter wave isn't a cosmic natural phenomena, but an attack from an sentient being. The fact remains that whatever the source, these attacks continue to come in all universes to each of the Earths, and it's only a matter of time before their tower destruction. In case you don't know, the heroes built a tower which, when activated, makes a planet invisible, making the antimatter wave to pass through without destroying it. Since they don't know the source of the wave, they can't attack. The only other option is to escape, but there's nowhere to go. But one of the genius heroes suggests that there is a theoretical dimension called the nether space. What if they use the towers to broadcast the transmatter beam to move all the Earth there? Monitor sees this as a commendable idea, but unfortunately the power required to move those worlds will be nearly incalculable. Blue Beetle sees Charles and confronts him as he knows him to be a sociopath in his world. Charles uses his mind power on Blue Beetle, which is not supposed to work on him because his will is too strong, but it actually worked due to the power he collected from the Monitor. Charles suddenly feels a sharp pain in his head. A strange light comes out and takes him away. Hawkman reports to the heroes about the sudden sun disappearance. Batman sees a shadow demon trying to attack him, and he is not the only one with this problem, as in different realities. Shadow demons are coming out from nowhere and also attacking the heroes there. Charles finds himself in an empty space where an entity asks him why he helps the Monitor. This entity is called Anti-Monitor, who believes in chaos and order, as he promises to help Charles become not just the ruler or a president but a god of a new whole universe. But firstly, they will have to completely destroy the old universe. Queen Hippolyta of Amazon and her army could not handle those shadow demons on their own, so Diana goes to help them out despite not being the daughter of the queen in that world. On the other hand, the Bat family shows up to assist Batman take down the shadow demons using light bombs. Yes, of course, the creature weakness is light. Batman tells Monitor that the light has to be significantly bright to harm them. Meanwhile, while Kamadi and Solivar are repairing a tower in their world, the shadow demons attacks them. They defend themselves, but the creatures are far too many. Solivar is brutally injured and decided to serve as the sacrificial lamb to save Kamadi. He increases his gun to the highest velocity, which caused a massive explosion that killed the demons, but Solivar wasn't able to make it. Since the weakness of this creature is light, Wonder Woman shows up at Amazon to help using her lasso of truth to kill the creatures. Kara meets Charles on her way to help the other heroes, but Charles takes advantage of this moment. He uses his mind control powers to make Kara see the Monitor as the bad guy who destroyed her world and should take revenge on him. He didn't stop there, as he uses his powers to make the heroes to fight against each other. More shadow demons keeps coming in all realities. Wonder Woman tells the Queen to release all the men whom they placed as slaves to help them in the battle, but the Queen refuses due to her mistrust for men, and will instead rather die fighting. While Green Lantern takes care of some demons on his Earth, he sees an old man and recognizes him to be that guy who foresaw that the world will come to an end. He attacks the man in anger and frustration, believing he has something to do with this. The homeless-looking man, who turns out to be John Constantine, uses his sorcery to block his attacks. Monitor meets Charles to know why he changed his mind instead of helping the heroes save the worlds, but Charles reveals to have a new boss called the Anti-Monitor, a being who wants to create a new world but has to destroy this universe in order to achieve that. Unfortunately, since the heroes were occupied in fighting the demons, none of them has the chance to turn on the towers, making the antimatter waves begin to destroy all the Earth, and some heroes, including the Queen of Amazon, got killed by the wave. The Spectre appears before the Monitor, and they both have conversations about how the Monitor refuses to believe in the Spectre. The Monitor also feels bad that despite all his powers, he is only just going to watch and do nothing about it instead of helping out. While Green Lantern and John Constantine fight each other, John suddenly remembers who he is. Together, they overload the Green Lantern battery and throws it towards the demons. Batman and the other heroes notices that the demons are retreating, but Batman knows this isn't a good sign, as they probably have a new target. All the demons, who are millions in number, merge themselves into one body, turning into a gigantic demon. Its plan is to destroy the tower. Demon's weakness is light attacks, so the heroes uses their lights to attack the gigantic demon, but it turns out the demon is wearing a strong armor, protecting it that even light cannot hurt it anymore. Kara attacks the Monitor under the influence of Charles using her heat lasers. Kara immediately comes to her senses after seeing the Monitor half dead on the floor. Meanwhile, the gigantic demon brings out a huge force from its palm, and it's obvious that the heroes are really doomed. That was how the movie ended. Thank you for watching, guys. If you love animation movies, please subscribe to this channel and keep watching. Bye.